Karina. Continuing on with tracing all the shapes, I would simply just for this one, just do a line that starts from here, follow around. Don't worry about it overlapping there, we'll fix that. And then, so with the pen tool, click on there and then just continue on. It's probably easier just to go through here and then sort of make it into a shape. So however you want to adjust these lines, if you're not happy with them, you can go back and play around with the arms, move the nodes until you're happy with the placement. Here there's, it doesn't join, it should join. So I'll just drag those together, and then if I click and drag over both of those separate nodes, Control J will join them. So now they're joined. So if you think there's a bit of a funny kink or something in there, then just play around with the arms and everything until you're happy with that. When you have two arms that are going too close to each other, it creates a bit of a kink in there. So just maybe move them away a little bit. So play with that until you're happy with it. So in here, if you want to get rid of that line, I would simply Control A, should select everything except that that's locked under there. So Object, Unlock All for a start. Click on the background and then click on your illustration that's been placed in the background and lock it again. So Object, Lock, Selection. Okay, so now we can come back here, then Control A. So this is my favorite, the Shape Builder tool. If you've got lines that overlap or touch each other, then you can do this. If one line doesn't touch another and it's not a closed shape, you won't be able to do this. So because I know this is a closed shape, I closed up this little gap down here. I can just click, see how you get the dotted lines, and then drag across that line there, so it removes it completely. So I have that shape there now. So anywhere else where there was something overlapping, I can do the same. So then now I can go back in with the lines, and you can draw your lines as well, pretty much exactly the same way. If you want to copy and paste any lines, you can do that. So you've got the ends. They probably don't look so nice if you've got sort of hard, sharp ends like that. So if you go to stroke, you can change the caps so you get one that's more rounded. So if you prefer that sort of look, then you can do that. Same with the ends. You can have the rounded ends, which I think we've already done. So they're more rounded than pointy. Sometimes if they're pointy, they either got a hard cut edge or whatever. So, so yeah, continue doing all those lines. You know how to do that now. The same thing with the pen tool. Then, of course, you've got the fish's eyes. So there's different ways you can do that. You could try and see if it works with the ellipse tool. Obviously, that's not the right shape, but you can get that. And then you can get the rotation tool, which is here, while that's selected, and you can sort of drag it around like that. Sometimes these fish have their eyes popping out of their head, so check part of that. But if you don't want that, you can have it like that. Now you can start to manipulate it with so that's the selection tool, just to move the whole thing. But if you want to start manipulating certain parts of it, select the direct selection tool, and then you can say, just put it back there. Click on the background to deselect it, then select the node, for example, that you want to work on. So you can work on that individually. You've got your arms that you can move around. You can sort of change this. So you can do anything with that, with those tools, or you can use the pen tool, as I've already shown you. So there's that. And then, of course, doing the little eye, you can do the same thing with doing a circle and maybe rotating it with the rotation tool from the tool palette, something like that. You want to fill that black, so then change the swap, fill and stroke. So you've got that. Obviously that eye is probably too big, up to you. Then you can, and of course you're going to do a much better job for this, So click and drag to select both of those, Control G to group it, and then Object, Transform, Reflect, and just do that. You can change the angle and then copy. So let's move it over here, but then we can, so it's reflected, so then we can just rotate it. It's a bit kooky as it was then. So then you can move that around to however. So any other lines that you want to add, you can add. So then at the very end, if you've got a fish that you want to fill with a certain colour, probably group it all, except for those eyes because they've already been filled. So let's ungroup it all. Select everything but the eyes and see if we can do it. Okay, so just say you want colour of a fish, I don't know. Fill it orange. Now this is a shape that's not filled, so what can we do about that? We might be able to use the shape builder tool. Let's see if it works. There we go. So the shape builder tool, just click and drag over offending lines to get rid of them, and then they all become individual shapes. So if you want to change the tone and things like that, you can do that on your fish. So you want the eyes to be possibly filled white, but it selected the whole lot. So we need to zoom in. And then let's just go for the direct selection tool. So because we've got it already grouped, we could ungroup it, or just with the direct selection tool, I click on one eyeball, hold down the shift key, select the other one, so that adds to my selection. And where it's got white, I fill it with black. Okay, so got that. So then you've got all the lines to add and anything else. Then you can group it all. You can scale it up or down. Copy and paste. You can rotate. You can hold down the shift key so that it rotates like that, and then you can do some beautiful things with it.